What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Rob Switch Reviews. Today, I get to interview a new Twitch streamer, variety streamer. His name is JimmieMac. Jimmie, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Rob?
Oh, man, I am great. On vacation. Glad we finally got this interview lined up. Something you and I had been talking about for a few days.
We had. I felt bad because you kind of said it, and I thought you were saying it in passing because I'm like, he couldn't be talking to me, could he? He doesn't want to do an interview with me, but then you did, and then we did our competition last week, and then you talked about it again, and I'm like, yeah, I can make some time for Rob and talk to him here.
That was kind of my bad because I kind of went to your Twitch chat, and I was like,
right.
We were talking, doing the friendly exchanges and all that, threw that out there, and I was like, all right, let's see if he hits me up.
Right.
2 weeks later, I'm like, shit. And then you finally hit me up for that competition where your team destroyed mine.
I don't want to say destroyed. It went well.
Like, it was a good time. It
was a good time. So that's really all that matters. Everybody had fun, and the communities worked together a little bit. And little friendly competition is good. I feel like that's kind of, some wouldn't call it a problem, but I feel like the problem with some of Twitch is just it's this constant stroking of everybody you come in contact with, and competition's good, and it's nice to shit talk, and it feels good for some people. I like it. You seem to like it too. You love it. You know what I mean? You do it to your chat. You give it back to people when they raid and stuff like that. Like, you have a little edge to you. That's why I picked certain people to kind of go through this, kind of streamer showdown thing. So
I'm not going to lie to you. Something I've been open about is my name that was being used on Discord to attack other streamers.
Right.
You unfortunately followed me around that time, and my defense with you went up. I put up that wall. I was like, all right, who is this guy?
Right.
Everyone that follows me out of the blue, you followed me when I wasn't even live.
Right.
And then I finally checked you out. I was like, oh, he's actually a pretty decent dude. I want to get to know this guy.
Right.
So good on you with the random follow, which is going to lead me into the first question.
Right.
How did you get into Twitch?
So the origin story of the great and powerful JimmieMac, right? So it was this time last year. I actually just found the receipt for my audio rig here. I'd been here. First of all, before we get started, I'm 46 years old, right? So it's even ludicrous that I even do this, right? This is not what this was intended for or whatever. But kind of my whole life, I never really Twitch to me is like what you dreamed about when you were a little kid. Like, for some people, like being able to basically have a TV show like in your own house, like that's wild, and it was like a boyhood dream of like, wow, that would be crazy, but anyhow, so it was this time last year when I started hearing more about Twitch, and I was like, all right, let me really invest some time in this. Cause I kind of go both feet in when I go at something, right? I don't really like to half-ass it. I like to go full ass. So I started going through Twitch. I'm looking at a bunch of different things. I'm like, okay, games and this, and yeah, these guys are young and they're good looking and they talk well, and maybe that's where it comes from. But I still don't get who's just going to sit around and watch somebody play a game. Isn't there some sort of game show type element we could bring to this or something? And then I found the Jackbox games. So then I started really getting invested in picking certain streamers. So, you pick a girl, you pick a guy, you pick an older guy, you pick a younger guy, you pick a younger girl. So I tried to get a demographic of people that I wanted to follow. I wanted to watch how they interacted with chat, how important that was. Emotes, sound effects, backgrounds, green screens, everything. I didn't tell anybody anything. Some rooms I interacted with and became kind of part of the community and bits and subs. And then others I just held back and I just watched it all happen. After, so like I said, this was about a year ago. After about a month of this, I said, I can get in this. I can dominate this. Back in the Xbox days when Halo 2 first came out, I had a whole clan. Some of the guys I still talk to this day, and that was 16 years ago. But we had a clan, and if we were around, if Twitch was around when we were there, we would be those stream house guys. So that's always kind of been my motivation, good at video games, good at this thing, but my synapses don't fire like they used to, right? So I can't really be this Halo master that I used to be. So let me see the game show elements. So then I just started doing the game show thing and started it up and kind of really building a show and being entertaining. I feel like some people that stream just kind of turn the switch on, and the audience is there for them as much as they are for theirs. And I think it's very important to realize, like, people are coming to sit down in front of you to give you their time, which is the most precious thing anybody has. You can't get any of it back when it's gone. That's why they send you to jail, to take your time from you, so you have less time on this earth. So if you're here on Twitch and you need to be motivated, or you need to be entertained, or you need to be whatever, you come to this channel and you're going to get a full show start to beginning, or start to finish. Sorry. So that's kind of how I got into it. I just started thinking, if they can do it, why can't I? And that's been my mentality my whole life. It's kind of what you have to be when you're a chef, because who needs another burger place? Well, my burgers are better than everybody else's. I know how to do this better. I know how to do that better. So I'm going to go have at it.
So you mentioned age. You're 46 years old.
That's right.
You got 10 years on me. I'm 36.
Right.
Do you feel like age actually contributes to either some of your success or downfall on Twitch?
I mean, it's tough to say whether it hurts or whatever. I feel like there is, especially with like people that come to my channel, there is an older crowd, and I feel like sometimes they don't connect with the real young kids, and they can kind of connect with me. They can get my old movie references. They get the old TV show references. I kind of pepper different little one-liners. That's why I have like a lot of sound commands on my channel, and a lot of them are lines from movies, like Adam Sandler movies from, 99, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, but then like Airplane and all that. And I feel like those sound commands are like, that's kind of how guys talk, right? Like you kind of talk, now it's more in memes, but it used to be like you'd talk in movie lines to people, like, what? Shit, I lost my train of thought.
It happens, buddy.
No. Oh yeah. So I think I do kind of pull in older audiences, or more like eclectic younger kids, or, I don't know. I think I do fill a need. I don't think there's anybody out there that does it quite like I do it. And I've been watching for a while, and I don't see anybody else out there like me. So you never know who's sitting there just waiting for that opportunity of like, man, I really want to get into this Twitch, but none of these people speak to me. And I feel like I'm that guy that speaks to the people that don't normally have a place to go.
All right. So 2020 has been an absolute crapshoot for everyone.
Yeah.
Different world than we lived in a year ago. Has COVID impacted you on Twitch? For the better,
it's tough to say. It's tough to say, because I started this a year ago, and I kind of had a plan that, like whatever happened, I was going to continue to grow with it. And then I kind of had to readjust that plan, because, I'm a chef. So restaurants close, then they reopen, but now they reopen and you got to do 10 times more work because you're the sucker that keeps showing up. And, you have to wear more hats to help, drive the company. The last place I worked at before COVID, or when COVID hit, it wasn't a little independent place. I finally sucked it up and went to a chain, because just different life things. It's more reliable at a chain. It's all of the evils that you don't want to get into when you're young. Like, I don't need to learn anything else. And that's why when you're young, you really shouldn't work at chains. You got to go places where you're going to learn stuff, where you can ask questions, where you can have an idea and maybe get that fostered into like having a special on the menu. But I was kind of past that, and I wanted a more, set schedule, and so I kind of went into the corporate side of it. But then the corporate side of it is also to squeeze every nickel out of you and out of everything possible. So as people started falling off, it's like, well, Jim, also do this and also do this and also do this. And it was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit at home, and I've put myself in a position where I have the means to sit at home a little bit and kind of put my effort more into this. So now, instead of having a whole restaurant to run, I got a whole stream to run. And that's what I put all my effort into.
So what are your goals for your Twitch channel? And are you planning to branch out and do other platforms with the same name?
Yeah. I mean, I'm JimmieMac here now, forever. It's what I am everywhere else. I mean, I got like an Xbox name banned, so now I'm like the icon James Mac over there, because Jimmie wouldn't fit, so I had to shorten it up. But I mean, basically, this is it. I'm pretty easy to find. I've been on the internet forever. I got videos on YouTube that are 14 years old, like crazy. Been there since the start. So, where this is all going to go, I mean, I'm going to be that guy. We're going to have another conversation a year from now that's going to be completely different, because by then I'll have been on another TV show, host of a TV show, gotten some deal to, sponsor somebody. All these guys you see, Dr. Lupo and all those guys, that's going to be me. I have a path. I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do, but I'm open to other things that can help propel that more. But I am going to be the premier entertainer on Twitch, period.
Okay. So what has been your biggest struggle though?
My biggest struggle is myself. I want more faster. I realize I'm very blessed. My follower count is better than most people have after years. But that's also why I feel like I fill a need. I'm blessed to have a little bit of fame with the Hell's Kitchen thing coming into this. When I started my streams, I was watching Hell's Kitchens, not the season I was on. So a little bit of the novelty of being able to go on Reddit and being able to go on different Discords and going, hey guys, I was a contestant on this show. We're not watching my season, but I'll watch other seasons and I'll point out stuff. I'll tell you how the layout of the set is. I'll tell you this. So I got a little bit of a bump then when I first started, and then I just kind of kept doing that. And then, really just keeping my growth going. But yeah, my problem is me. If I did a 4-hour show yesterday and got 8 followers, why couldn't I have gotten 10? What could I have done better? I'm real hard on myself about stuff like that. But like I said, there's people that would kill to have 730 people after 5.5 months of doing this, but, that's my biggest thing is me. It's all going to come. Everybody lives in this, microwave meal, quick edits, all instant gratification shit. But you stay the course, you have a plan, you set yourself goals of what you want out of every stream. And then you just have to stay focused on that, and everything else happens and falls into place from there on out.
You said something that actually was transitioning into my next question.
Okay.
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
So talking about the fall, it was this week. Because I just had a thing pop up on my Google Pictures that was whatever it was, 13 years ago, 11, 12. It was October of 2008. It was right around this week. It was the last week of October. I'm going to give you a little bit because I kind of save all this for, I'm going to have a big milestone stream where we're going to finally watch my season, and I'm going to dedicate a whole day to everybody wringing every last bit of juice out of the thing they can. But, the summary of the origin of that was they were having an open casting in Boston. Now, also, it's real tough, and this is the part of being old that's hard to get across to people, too, because they haven't experienced it yet when you're younger. The world was a different place. In 2008, there wasn't a million reality shows. The reality shows came to fruition because there was a writer's strike during the summer of 2008. So there wasn't going to be TV shows written. So there weren't going to be your regular 8 o'clock stuff on NBC. So they started to figure out if we get these non-SAG actors and do this reality stuff, then we can have a show called So I Want to Be a Cowboy's Wife. So 2008-9 is when all that stuff started to accelerate. And the landscape was totally different for TV back then. YouTube was barely a thing. Twitch wasn't a thing. You didn't have all these streaming services. I mean, my God, Netflix used to mail you DVDs. It's weird to think about now, but that's all going to change in 10 years from now. And the kids that are 18 now, they're 28, they'll be scratching their heads at little bit of differences. But anyhow, I went down to be on season 6. They said it was doing 6 and 7, but they had only shown season 4 on TV. So I'd only seen 4 of them, and it's the infancy of the series. So they still hadn't really come out with a solid format for it yet. So I was like, yeah, cooking competition, I can be on that. For sure. Chopped wasn't around yet. There was very few outlets. Food TV, was hitting its stride. Alton Brown and Good Eats and Emeril Lagasse and Mario Batali. Those were the guys that kind of drove food TV and food type shows. And Hell's Kitchen was really the only cooking competition show that there was. So there was an open casting in Boston. I was living up in New Hampshire at the time. I found out about it about 3 days before, and it was a Saturday morning, so I couldn't take time off from work. And so I ended up closing the restaurant Friday, got home at 1:30, had a few beers, got up at 6 o'clock for a 9 o'clock in the morning casting call, Got down there. I was like the 42nd person in line, and filled out this huge questionnaire. I have pictures of it and stuff. I'll post some other time, but I took pictures of the questionnaire and stuff like that, and got in. I met with the casting directors, whatever. And then they told me to come back the next day, film a little interview thing. Then I got a call a week later. I went out to LA. I got sequestered in a hotel for like 4 days. You meet with psychiatrists and doctors and all this to make sure like you can handle it, meet with the producers. And then I got a call at the beginning of the year that said like, hey, or at the end of the year that said like, hey, next month we need you to take the month off and come and be on the TV show. So I did.
Would you do it again?
That's a double, because when I went into it, I didn't realize that it wasn't a straight competition. It's a TV show, and they kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, but you don't know. So you're not just really there to cook well and kick ass and like you're rewarded. If you watch my season, I am dominant the entire like first 4 episodes, and then I fall off because I realize like there's a whole other story they're talking about over here, and it doesn't end with me winning. There is no way for me to come through this and come out the winner on the other end. Kid blew out his ankle. They had a reoccurring kid that we didn't even know because his season was starting to air when we were filming ours. And kid pulled the pin out of his wrist. So I got 2 people with injuries and another reoccurring character out of a 16-man show or whatever. Like, this doesn't end with Jim McGloin reigning supreme over everybody. It just doesn't. I'm not an idiot. And I'm not going to sit here and just get belittled and get shit on the whole time. So my interest really fucking fell off. Like, that's it. You're stuck in this room. You know you're not going to win. You have no TV, no cell phone, no newspaper, no phone, like no contact with anybody. You're just with these other people, and you're just you're just watching it all start to gel, and you're like, I literally cannot win this. This is not for me to win.
Fair enough.
So I would do it so close your question out. I would do it again, but I would go into it with a different headspace and know more what to expect now. And it would be like less of a letdown, like midway through. And I could look at it from a different way when I went at it again.
Are you aware there is a fandom wiki page about you?
Yeah, I've never looked at it. Those kids that run that, they are kids. They came into my streams. They come in when I do Hell's Kitchen streams. They're in my Discord. They're on another Hell's Kitchen Discord. I don't look because I don't know if it's good or bad. And honestly, I don't really care, but I feel like I've been kind of guiding them on how to be like less asshole-ish when you talk about these people. Because here's the thing, to everybody it's a TV show, right? But like some of these people, they have families, like they have a life, they're trying to get a job, you know, and because of one dinner service where they overcooked a chicken 10 years ago, like that's going to be immortalized forever on the internet. And every time they're on TV, you who doesn't work in a kitchen and doesn't, like, if you don't pay bills and you don't pay rent, like who fucking cares about your opinion, you know? But like you're trying to take this guy down who tried to do something with his life because he made a bad chicken or he put up a steak that was a temp under. And like, maybe you shouldn't talk like that because maybe this guy's a real person and he didn't know what he was getting into either. And he just wanted to be on a cooking TV show. And now he's immortalized forever as that fucking idiot that put out raw chicken one time 10 years ago. You know, like, is that fair? I don't think that's fair. So that's kind of what I told them about the wiki. And I kind of did that. I think from traffic that I get from people during my streams, I feel like they speak well of me on there and they have a link to my Twitch channel and people do come in and say that they followed from there, but I don't look at it.
And what about the episodes themselves? I know you said you were going to do like a 1-year celebration and go back and watch them with your community. Have you watched them since they've been in production?
Yeah. So, Andy Husbands from my season, he's from Boston. He had his own restaurant. So he would bring some of us down there. Like I only lived an hour away up in New Hampshire. So when it was live, we watched it at his restaurant. He would bring Kevin from Connecticut. He would come up. Van, who was another fan favorite, actually from the time the show filmed to when it aired, he had moved from Texas up to be with Kevin in Connecticut and started living there. And Van still lives in Connecticut from today, as of today. What was the question? I feel like I lost myself there in the thing.
Shit, I think I forgot the question. We're not smart people, Jimmie.
No, I just start. Sometimes I start to go on a thing and then I forget. But I don't know.
I asked if you'd ever watched them.
Oh yeah, so I watched him. I watched him with me on it when we were at the restaurant, and then like maybe one other time in a drunken thing of like with some friends that had missed an episode or something. They gave us production DVDs that one of my ex-girlfriends stole. So I don't have that anymore, but I would throw it in and watch that. But I don't really, as much as I like Twitch and being an entertainer and doing all this, I don't like watching myself back. I feel like I just focus on the critique of like where my headspace was at when I was doing stuff and how I could have done things better. And then I just end up getting irritated at myself.
One more Hell's Kitchen, and then we're going right back to Twitch.
Sure.
Chef Ramsay.
Yeah.
On set, off set. Is he the same guy? Because he seems terrifying.
If there was one question I get more than anything, it's this one. And it's always like, do you hang out with your boss? Like, we don't hang out with him. Like, he comes out, like, for my season, Chef Scott, the sous chef, he's in the kitchen 75% of the day, leaning on you about, are you sure that's right? Like, he's just there to kind of get in your head and kind of not foment a little discord, but kind of, it's like, hey, I think you got to go check this guy. He's been doing this for a while. And some of the guys in there really didn't come from kitchens and they were really in over their head and they went home early. But for the most part, everybody kind of knew what they were doing. And but Chef would come down 5 minutes before we opened, and we would do a little lineup thing. And then he assigns you your stations and then you get at your station. So maybe you didn't prep that station all day, but they're watching all day long. They know what's going on. They know what you're missing. They know what you're short on. They just know how to create this tension. And you should still be doing prep when you hear him say, open the doors to Hell's Kitchen. Now, what happens is they bring all these people in and there's kind of a holding room up front. So all 100 diners or all 50 diners or however many they're going to be are all there. They're not like having seatings like at a regular restaurant. Like very few restaurants run the way Hell's Kitchen runs in different ways. Everybody comes in at once. It's called a flat seat, and you don't want that to happen at your restaurant. And you're not allowed to jump tickets ahead where like if the guy on fish is having a hard time, that's fine. We'll put these lambs out now because these lambs are ready. No, they make you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's no jumping ahead to tickets to clear the board to get anything out. Stuff that you would do in a regular kitchen. I will say this, Jason Santos, who used to be a close personal friend of mine, was on season 7. He came in second. He opened up a restaurant the year after his season was on, and Ramsay was finishing Kitchen Nightmares in Boston. And he came by and he gave Jason, myself, the rest of the staff there, who was like 3 or 4 other people, like a half hour of his time. And he hung out there with us. I have pictures of him hanging out with us in the restaurant. He has his own assistant, his own photographer. Came in, looked at the menu, talked about stuff, went to the pastry girl and signed her pastry book that she had that was from his collection. I knew, but nobody knew that he was showing up. And then he walked in the door, super nice, didn't have to do it at all, just did it out of the kindness of his heart. So I'll always say that about him.
Seems like he could have a little soft spot in there.
Well, you can't be an asshole and be as successful as he is, right? So like there has to be a different side of him that everybody doesn't see. And I think now that comes out more. I mean, Ramsay is kind of like Superman or Batman or any of these other like kind of iconic characters. He's been on TV long enough that he has these different arcs. The Ramsay now isn't the same as 2004 Ramsay. Like different people have an idea of what the golden age of Chef Ramsay was. And for me, I think it's about 2004 to like 2009. And then he started to get kind of the hipster haircut. Then all of a sudden the forehead wrinkles that made him famous went away. And now it's like more polished, and it's a more polished anger where it's not from the heart, where he's really upset that you're putting mashed potatoes like a cake over this big steak or, something. It's this kind of feigned gimmicky anger, but you can't be as angry as he wants to be for 20 plus years. You just can't.
All right, so going back into Twitch, you had mentioned this earlier. You play Jackbox. You like that
Yes.
whole trivia game show type of feel to your channel. How did you get into Jackbox? Like, how'd you find it?
Like I said at the beginning, when I was trying to figure out like what piece of this can I carve out, like which thing can I do? So my synapses don't fire, and I'm not going to be like one of the best 3v3 like Counter-Strike people or Valorant. I mean, Valorant wasn't out yet, but any of those type of things. So I'm like, well, I like hanging out and bullshitting with people, and I like oh, so like a pub, like trivia, like yeah, like trivia pub, like kind of thing, like that would be cool. And my whole gimmick that I want to do, like with my Discord and everything, like you have the swamp, I have the diner. It's just kind of an idea of you have of like the feel that you want to give off. So I don't want to call it like a bar and alienate people, but if you think of a diner, it's like there's a counter, there's people hanging out. You can come in, hang out real quick, talk, not even do anything, and then leave. Like you want to check in, you do that. But I like that whole atmosphere. So like the bar trivia that everybody has locally, like, okay, what can we do for that? Because I want to actually like provide something. I want to actually be a host. I want to be entertaining. I want to people to come and like see a show as best as I can do on this format. So I started watching other Jackbox streamers, and some of them it's like they don't really pay attention to the game. They're there to socialize, and Jackbox is like the secondary background noise, you know. But I wanted to be like, man, if I had a format and stick with it and do this thing and provide a show, I can still do other things. Like I bake sometimes, and we watch Hell's Kitchen sometimes, and I play other games sometimes. But for the most part, I try to stick to Jackbox because that's what captures them. The electricity that I try to provide in giving a show to people when they come in. Every time I hit go live on my thing, I just picture myself that everybody that comes in has never seen me before. And that's the way everybody should play. That's what Michael Jordan says. That's what Mickey Mantle says. That's what all these greats say. Every time you're at bat, you got to act like there's a kid that's heard about you, but he's never seen you. So you got to show them why everybody that talks about you is right. And that's what I do.
So you said you bake, and I've actually watched you bake.
Mm-hmm.
How much preparation, not on the food side, goes into that? Getting your camera set up before you hit the go live?
So I'm kind of a planner about stuff. Like I don't like to, not to throw this back at you, but like when you're like, hey, we should do this sometime. If like the same thing, like when I wanted to set up the Streamer Showdown, I come at you with like, can we do this date? Can we do this time? Can we do this? So when I first started streaming, everybody wants to see me cook on stream, right? And like, as you and me sit here, if we had a few beers and you were like, man, it'd be great if you could cook on stream. When you really start to boil it down though, for a professional to cook on stream, like 8 minutes, I'll be done. You know, like it doesn't take that long to make food. Even if I like live stream myself going to the grocery store that's 2 minutes down the road and coming back with everything, I'd be done in under an hour. You know, there's not really a way to make it worth it. So then that's when the light bulb went off. And well, if I bake a couple different cookies, I'm making a couple different batters. Anybody can ask me about anything else they want. Okay, so now how would I do that effectively? I'd need this camera in front of me. I want another one to do this. So I had a couple old phones. I had a Galaxy S7, a Galaxy S8. I had a couple little cheesy tripods. I started putting them around. I wrote a little sketch out. I did a couple dry runs where I just kind of had it and see if I could cover everything. And the preparation of that was kind of like, I already had an idea. I would need to have them, you know, it's like a regular cooking show, right? What's in the pots, what's on the cutting board, and then what's this guy doing? So that's kind of what I did. I got one face in the stove. I got one face in my mixing area. And then I have one kind of overseeing the whole kitchen for those in between times. So it was a lot of prep, and I got really good lights in my kitchen, high ceilings, like lighting was good. It didn't take long for it to kind of gel because I have a peninsula in my kitchen too, where it's missing that wall, like right behind the sink. So it even feels like a TV studio, like where I'm in a little box, but one whole wall where you guys are is missing. And it's perfect to just set everything up and do it. But it wasn't a lot because it just kind of came to me during the whole thing of like, how are we going to do this to make it look good? And again, it's that entertainment side. I don't want people to show up and be like, what's he doing? What's he doing? So can I provide enough cameras? Can I have the recipe easily accessible? Can I get it can I get the screen overlay like broken down right? Can I interact with people? So wireless headphones for my PS4. The second time I got a guy to sit in the Discord and kind of read chat for me because I can't have my computer close to where I'm mixing and I don't want to get shit all over the place. So it's like, it's over here, but I got to crane my neck. So how can we avoid that? Well, we'll have another kid in the booth kind of moving questions along and interacting with chat for me and doing that. So again, it's a constant evolution. You don't have to marry your first idea. Your first idea doesn't need to be your best idea. So that's that.
I got one question to wrap up our side of the interview.
All right. What do you got?
From the beginning of the stream, from the first time you went live to the last time you went live, is there anything that you could have gone back and fixed?
It sounds cocky if I say I don't think so. I think I studied it long enough and before I did it and I knew what I wanted. So I didn't want to, so there isn't really any, oh, if only I did this different. I didn't start with a different audio setup and then I upgraded to it. I started with a good audio set. I started with a good computer. I started with good lights because that's what I did with my studying. I would watch people and go, man, I know you got to dance with who you brought and you got, whatever your situation is for setting up your thing. But when you have a big window behind you and the lights coming through and washing the camera out, like how can I avoid that from happening? So I tried to identify problems in other people's streams and then figure out how I'm not going to let that happen to me and how I'm going to come right out of the gate with like a professional looking stream and I'm not in a position where I have to wait for donations and wait for subs and upgrade my stream that way and, kind of build it together. I kind of went at it decent. I would still buy stuff now, obviously, but that's just extra enhancements onto the thing. So it sounds like such a shitty answer and it's not what you're looking for, but I really don't think there would be anything that I would change. I feel like I did well. I feel like the numbers prove that I'm doing well.
I mean, it sounds like you planned ahead and you were ready for this. It sounded like something you wanted to do. Right.
It was something I wanted to do. It was something, and I want to do it, and I want to be good at it. So I just wanted to study it. Last thing I wanted to do is be this old man that looked out of touch and didn't know what was going on, and then just kind of half-assed it, and then was like, this isn't for me. The build up to when you're going to start your stream of like, okay, do I have everything all set? Because once I start this, it's not going to be like I'm going to do it for 2 weeks and I'm going to take some time off and think about it. It's like, no, like once I started, I tried to get in a pretty routine schedule like right away because that's important to it. People need to know when to find you and everything. So, yeah, that's about it.
That's all I got. At the beginning of the interview, you said you were going to have some questions for me.
Oh, I didn't know how this was going to go. I didn't know what your questions were going to do. I mean, I could ask all these same things to you, but here's the thing. I went back and I watched some of your other interviews with other YouTube streamers to just kind of get like your format and how you were going to do all this. It seems to be, and maybe I'm opening myself up here for a whole bunch of like attacks or whatever, but trolls seem to be a problem with everybody. You said you've been hassled on Discord. Some of the other people I said I was watching, you actually had a question for people that was like about dealing with trolls. And it's like, it's one of those things that I don't understand how it gets so out of control so fast. The second I get a whiff of somebody that's in the chat room that's going to try my patience, you just get rid of them. There's 9 billion people on Twitch. You don't need this guy. This guy is not going to do anything. I feel like maybe some people get like every viewer counts and they'll put up with it to get it. I don't know why or how it gets out of control. So maybe you could help me with that and like what I should be on the lookout for, because I haven't experienced it.
My troll was a little bit different than your average shut them down, ban them, they're gone.
Right.
My trolls started following me in real life. So it was a different situation for me altogether. I'll actually be filming a video for that, a solo video. So yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal on my side of things.
Okay.
And a lot of the people I interviewed early on, I've ran with them for a while because for the most part, most of us are Jackbox streamers.
Right.
And then now, I'm branching out. Oh shit. Hit my phone. I'm interviewing, YouTubers now, and
right.
Our interview here wasn't all about Jackbox. We talked about, Hell's Kitchen and you being a bacon streams and all that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm blessed. I feel like I'm blessed with my community. I feel like I think ultimately what you want to do on Twitch too is get people that like you for you. That's the only way you're really going to get popular. No one's going to watch me play Jackbox forever, and we don't know what the next evolution is. But if you get a good crew that enjoys hanging around with you no matter what you do, then it builds and it happens. And like that's kind of how you get there. Like Ninja and Summit 1G and these other huge guys, like they have such a fan base that just like them as people. And that's kind of like that whole bar and diner thing I'm talking about. Like the subs isn't about, it's not about the money. It's just kind of like, it is like a tip for you. It is like, if I was at a bar and these people were there every night, you'd buy me a beer at some point, right? You would go, this fucking guy, I've been here a week. He's fucking always on 4 hours a night. He makes me laugh. Buy this guy a shot. That's how I feel like the subs and stuff are. Like, you can't really buy me a beer, so you just buy me like a virtual beer. And it's like dude, I like hanging out with you. Like, I want to hang out with you more. Like, let's keep going. And that's like the kind of feel about it. So when you have those people that'll really do that and they want to hang out with you, like people watch Ninja on The Voice, like singing, like what's he even doing on there? Who cares? But like you rock it till the wheels fall off and they have to drag you out of just the scaffold, like the frame of the thing that's left, like, so fine, go on there and do that. But people just like him so much that it doesn't matter if Fortnite goes away tomorrow, it'll be on to the next thing and he'll do something else because people love him that much. And that's kind of how I want to get. I just want to get people who want to hang around with me and be entertained, and they enjoy my special brand of humor and they enjoy my aggressiveness and the funny way I talk, and like be part of that. And that's just what I'm trying to cultivate like every day.
I'm not going to lie. Going into this thing, I was like, man, this guy's going to roast me the entire time.
No, I figured. And like, that's what I sow, like, cause that's what I reap. Like I do give that thing off, but like there is a switch. Like it isn't just ruthless aggression all the time to everybody. It is a little bit of an edge, but I can dial it back. I mean, I'm an adult. I know, I don't want to make this uncomfortable for you or anything like that. I'm not out here trying to pick fights with anybody. I got problems with a bunch of different streamers, but like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it, and they have problems with me, and that's fine. Everybody's not for everybody. I don't really like a lot of like the super positivity stuff. I feel like it just does everybody a disservice. And then it just kind of, some of that stuff is like a bug light. And I think when you're like super positive and we take everybody in and it's like this, then you attract a certain type of bug, like people that like the woe is me attitude, and the people that like, oh, but I'm having a real bad day today. Like that's all fine and good if you make it work. But like when I'm at work here on stream, I want you to know it's going to be a good time and you can forget all that bullshit and you don't have to listen to any of that. And let's make a couple dick jokes at somebody else's expense. And let's do this. And like, let's just kind of forget all that. And just really, when people say forget your problems, I don't want to, like, don't talk about it. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy to help you with that. I'm the guy to help you go, look at this other guy over here. Let's shit on him a little bit. He misspelled something wrong in Quiplash. Let's ruin his day. Like, I want to be that guy.
Twitch streamers are not therapists.
No. But some people do foster that environment where it can kind of be like, oh, it's my daily therapy session. That's not good for you because you're not, just because you're coming into their house via computer screen. You're 24 years old. You're not in any position to give anybody any life advice. And, shame on this guy for even putting you in that thing. But that's not what anybody else is there for either. Like there's plenty of other places to go on the internet for stuff like that. This is entertainment. You're asking people for their time. You're providing entertainment. It's not an open therapy session. It's not a let's all hold hands and sing a song. It's a show, man.
For me, it's difficult to take your situation serious when I am talking about some butthole that someone just drew.
Exactly. It's not like, it's not the time. It's not the place. It's like, I get you're sad and you feel a connection to me or to whoever you do that to, but it's just not what any of it's here for. But some of the streams become that. And again, it's kind of like dealing with trolls. Like people don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or they want to put up with it and see if it gets better. But I just feel like it's just not the place for it. And a lot of people are very, they foster that kind of attitude, and it's just a bummer for everybody else. And on to the next one,
Well, we've extended this way longer than I thought we would. And I appreciate you giving me so much time.
I'm sorry, man.
Hey,
I get chatty.
nothing to be sorry about. I like having someone come in here and have some testicular fortitude to use their damn words.
Exactly.
Well,
All
I've
right,
had
man.
I've had a lot of fun. Guys, make sure you check out JimmieMac on Twitch. All his links, his Twitter, it'll be below me.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'm Rob Switch.